So I guess we only have what, like 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
So we gotta hurry. Okay.
Let's give him 15. I think we have time in the
Yay!
schedule. Can we give him 15? Yeah,
Yes.
you get 15.
Yay! Thank you.
So it's like your like third time or fourth times?
I think it's the fourth, but I was trying to remember today, and honestly, I have the worst memory, so I don't know. But
So-
Jakarta feels familiar.
So how does it feel like to be back to Indonesia, Jakarta especially?
This one is, I think, probably the most special, and the reason why is, I went away from music for a few years, where I pursued a collegiate career at university, and I think for the longest time I really thought I wasn't going to come back to music, and each step in the process of making this record and putting it out and now touring on it has just felt very significant. So now to be here, I woke up this morning and I was thinking about the last time I was here and maybe how I was feeling sort of defeated maybe and sort of a sense of creative exhaustion, and now I'm just so excited to be here with this record and to play tonight. It truly means the world. It's a dream come true.
Yeah, cool. So this is what I learned about you. There are not many musicians who pursue the college degree first and then concentrate on their music. Is it your decision by yourself, or is it because you see some of the musicians didn't finish their college, or what?
Great question. I chose to go to college really because I thought my career was over.
Okay.
I thought it was done, and there were so many people around telling me that I had this one moment in music, and it was the Gaga video, and that they said that's your legacy, that's it. And I started to believe that, and so for me, going to school was more or less, me sort of accepting the fact that I maybe was never going to be successful in music again. And when I got to college, I actually really did love school and I liked studying, but it was in my second year of university where I sort of realized my purpose as a musician. And what happened shortly after then is my perception of success changed completely. I said I need to go and make an album, not for a Billboard chart or for anyone else. I needed to make it for myself, and that's what I did. And so now again too, to be at the place where we're at, I have to pinch myself sometimes and just remember I didn't think I would be here again, and to be here with it, it's you go to college to find your purpose, and I definitely did that. I dropped out, but I found it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking about your music, your new album, Portraits, it's the second full album after Hold On Till the Night. What took you so long to finally release this full album? The first one and the second one. What makes this album so personal to you?
Well, there was music in between, but there was like EPs and singles and these sorts of things. Thank you so much, Marie. I think it took a long time just because I was figuring out who I was and I was figuring out my voice. It's to be, 14 and 18, that's already a weird enough time as it is. You're really trying to figure out who you are. But to be a musician and touring on top of that, it makes it so much more crazy, So I don't think I really had a sense of direction for who I wanted to be as a musician until just recently, really, maybe within the past 2 or 3 years. So it took me a long time because I wanted to make sure it was right. And in many ways too, I look back at that first chapter of my career and like the record Hold On Till the Night. I'm super proud of it and I feel a sense of accomplishment within it, but it doesn't necessarily feel like mine in the way that Portraits does. So Portraits to me is my debut album. And it's personal because I not only wrote every song, I co-produced a lot of it. If you bring over the CD over there, every part that you see, I have the Photoshop files on my computer. I designed everything. I was involved in every process of this. And when you see the show tonight, there's not a second in the show that's not intentional. It's not me, writing things down in my notebook and studying other music. This is the first time in my career where I'm involved in every aspect of it. And I think that's the way it should be.
So I saw a couple of your interviews promoting Portraits, and you every time in the interview you told that Portraits is your most personal album ever because it's based on your personal experience and so on. which song that had a deepest meaning
Yeah.
for you?
Well, I mean, everyone is a different story, right?
Yeah.
I think the song that I find myself most emotionally attached to, and the one that I do struggle to play it live, just because it brings back a lot of emotions, is White Roses.
Yeah. White Roses.
So that was about, I was in a relationship for around like 10 or 11 months, and I thought we were going to get married, and we didn't.
Oh, cool.
And I wrote that song. So that's the last single on that album, actually. We have a music video coming out in a few weeks. And it's a very, very close song to me. But every record tells a different story on that one.
Because you tell like from the beginning until the end, you tell different kind of story, but
Yeah.
still connected. Still connected,
Yeah,
right?
thanks. That was the goal. That was the goal. Thank you.
Have you ever felt like, you know, getting sick or bored while doing music? So if you have, what will you do?
Yeah. When I was younger, absolutely. I felt that all the time, and I think that's why I left. There wasn't any happiness in what I was doing towards the end before taking that break. Right now I'm so inspired and I'm so exhilarated by what I'm doing. And we've just started writing the next album, and I just am, there's too much material right now. So I don't feel bored at all making art, and I know that that's what I need to be doing right now. If it all fails, I'll probably end up playing in a bar in Oklahoma, drinking way too much whiskey.
Or probably you do some modeling, because there are a lot of pictures in
Thanks.
your Instagram that you post, and it's a great shot.
Thank you.
So have you thought about being a model? So then,
No, it's nothing that I'm that interested in. I think there's a large talent within modeling, and I think there are a few people that actually get it. What I like to do in photos is, when I pose and when I model for photos, is in the same way that I feel very expressive in my music, I try to do that when I'm in that position. So anytime you see a shoot or anything I post on Instagram, again too, it's all about intention, right? I'm not just going out with a camera and saying, okay, let's put my arm up and okay, that looks cool. The creatives that I work with, we think about, what's the story that we're telling, and who's inspiring it, and what are we trying to portray. So in that way, I almost feel less of a model and more of just a vessel for the photographer that I'm working with. For them to tell their story through the medium. If that makes sense. Does it make sense?
Yeah, cool. And the question is, why you choose "Shut Up" and "Yours" as a single? Because I listen to all your music from projects. I personally like the one with the women that you record in Las Vegas.
Black on Black.
It's kind of cool, but it's also dark. I don't know, but it's kind of feel like mood. But why did you choose "Shut Up" and "Yours" to be your singles?
Shut Up is, the overall answer is they both made me smile the most. Anytime I listen to them, I smile, and I feel like those two need to be the singles. But we actually picked "Shut Up" for the first single because it was the first song that I wrote for Portraits. And in that way, and that's why it's the first song on the album, it's the first song in our set list. It felt like the opening to me of this whole journey. And so I felt like the fans needed to experience that too. So I was excited that we did that.
so if you could describe your new album in 3 words, what would it be?
I would say redemption. I feel like it truly is a redemptive album, or a redemptive body of work. I would say dynamic, and I mean that with the stories and with the sound and with everything. And Heartbreak talks a lot about that on there. Yeah. So what did I say? I said dynamic. What was the first one? What did I say? Redemption, dynamic,
Heartbreak.
Yeah, and Heartbreak.
So can we talk about the music that you wrote? Is it any particular artist that you like clinging to or inspired to, or it's just my kind of music and I created myself? Or
Yeah, no, there was a host of people for Portraits that I was really listening to. The first one is an indie band, you may or may not know them, but Sylvanesso. They were probably one of the largest inspirations for Portraits, and continuing to inspire me today. And that's spelled, just so you guys know, Slyvan, and Esso is ESSO. And then Bon Iver was a large inspiration for me on Portraits. And I was listening to a lot of old Joni Mitchell, and then Brandi Carlile, a lot of her works. Just because the two of them are incredible songwriters, and they're really good at telling a story, and so that's what I was studying a lot. And actually, too, it doesn't come across on the record at all, but I was listening to so much Marilyn Manson.
Really?
When I wrote portraits, yeah. I don't know why, but I love him, and I love the way that he's so expressive with his work.
Yeah.
And in ways, Black on Black is a lot about him.
Oh, I see.
Too, yeah. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
So after all these years from your first album until now, in your opinion, how big or how much your music changed?
Yeah, completely. I think when I look back on that first chapter of my career, and again too, I have to preface this all the time because I get misquoted on it a lot. It's not that I'm ashamed or regretful or feel any sort of embarrassment or anything from my first chapter of music. I challenge anyone who's 14 to make a record and see what they come up with before you start talking online, right? But it's just there was a degree of separation between who I really was and what was being outwardly expressed. What has changed the most from then to now is I'm doing everything on my own terms. I'm not doing things that I don't want to do anymore. Even merely sitting down and talking to you guys. If I didn't want to be here today, I wouldn't. And that's the biggest difference. I'm making decisions now on my own, and really just again too, my idea of success has really changed. If I'm happy and I'm writing music that's authentic and open to me, that's the end goal. I don't care about fame, I don't care about money, and I don't really care about success in that way. I care about personal happiness.
Okay, cool. Here's the last question from me because there's 2 minutes left. What 5 things that most of the people, or probably your friends, didn't know about Greyson Chance?
Oh, 5 things that they don't know. I don't have many secrets, but okay, let me think. The first one would be I'm quite I am extroverted, but I think I'm more shy than people might assume. I do need a lot of time by myself.
So it's like an ambivert.
Yeah. When I'm extroverted, I'm very extroverted, but I do have to take a lot of time for myself. Number 2, I run a lot. I don't know if people know that, but I run probably 3 or 4 miles a day.
What?
Yeah. Third, my biggest pet peeve is people that burp. I think that's disgusting. If you burp in front of me, GTFO.
Okay.
I would say the fans already know. Oh, that's stupid, so I'm not gonna say that one. I love electronic music, hard headbangers.
What song that really stuck in your mind right now?
I couldn't even tell you the artist. I listen to so many EDM playlists, and so I don't even really recognize who it is. I just love banging music sometimes.
The last one.
And the last one, I really like spiders and snakes. I'm fascinated by them.
Okay.
I think.
What are the things that really fascinating?
I think they're so misunderstood, man. We kill spiders all the time. Why?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys, the weirdest things in this interview are Marilyn Manson, headbanging EDM,
and spider and snakes.
You're gonna be like, Greyson is a weird cult leader. Yeah.
Okay, so it will be my last question, I guess. If you could meet your little Greyson, what will you say?
I would tell him, and I remember telling myself this when I was 15, when I got dropped by my first label, when I got dropped by Interscope. I would say, keep on going, keep fighting, and remember, just remember your purpose. That again too, it took me time to figure that out, but there's a lot of things too within the story that still a lot of people don't know, and maybe they might never know, and to just tell that kid to keep on going and to keep on fighting, because that's what I did.
Your eyes, your lips,